Infield single for Rodriguez today. Fly ball, deep center field. Going back is Edsel. Still going back. Looking up, and it is gone over the batter's eye. Goodbye, home run. Josh Rodriguez.
Hodges wants to air it out. Caught. And into the end zone for a touchdown. Kelvin McKnight.
Forces it up. Off the mark. Marshall the rebound. Here comes Samford. Marshall to the rim. Lays it in.
Welcome back. We are here. State of the Bulldogs is back. This is not the same voice as before. The substitute teacher is back. Last week, Jeb is here with me. Last week, Jeb, you and I missed that the other two went, and now the other two are gone, and it's just us. So, how's it going?
It's going. Got the dual box tonight.
Yep.
And we need to let's see if we can prove to Sam that we can do it without him.
Yeah, I think we'll do just fine. We're not missing a whole lot with him, right? I think we'll be cool. But
I think
yes,
Grant, you and I are probably the most reserved on the podcast.
Yes.
And
the most positive, if we had to guess. Yeah, positive.
We're also the most positive. So
yeah.
Maybe we can add some spice to the podcast. I don't know. I don't know if I have it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question. Mike's usually here to be, as he likes to say, the negative Nancy as he throws out there, and then he drops something about how we're bad at something or whatever. But we're going to try to keep this positive, especially when your team is 4-0 compared to other teams that are not 4-0 throughout the first couple weeks of conference play.
Yeah, the Furman fans are feeling really, really sour right now. So
yeah, let's just say have been there before. Maybe not since Bucky showed up, but before then, maybe back then. Lost a couple of games, lost to Paladins. Good thing we waited till tonight, Tuesday. Furman lost by 20 to Wofford at home, which is pretty spicy. Did not see that coming when Furman was a 5.5 point favorite. So, yeah.
So I guess we'll look at some of the recaps. You want to look at the VMI game?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to our game before we, trash the other teams. And as we said, we're going to try to stay positive and focus on our teams, the undefeated team, knock on wood, as of right now. So last week, we played VMI and UNCG both at home. So we got the win over VMI 81-68 on a Thursday night. Samford was led in scoring by Jaden Brownell. Shout out to Mr. Brownell, 23 minutes, 20 points, 4 rebounds. And then Rylan Jones was his usual self, 14 points, 5 assists, 4 or 9 from 3. Had a couple big step-back threes to kind of get Samford going when VMI cut it close in the second. Colin Holloway, 12 points, a double-double, 12 points and 12 boards. Awesome to see him kind of get those rebounding totals back up, something we've kind of expected from him, especially trying to kind of keep like the Arizona game out and kind of focus on a like opponent. So yeah, it was kind of basically just kind of get through it. VMI cut it close in the second half. They cut it, I want to say, like 2 or 3. They had a free throw. Bucky called timeout before VMI hit a free throw with like 10 minutes left, kind of rallied the guys, told them, like, hey guys, we can lose this game. We need to figure it out and kind of get more into a groove. They figured it out and obviously got the 81-68 win over VMI.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah.
We can look at the UNCG game and BMI handle them. The UNCG game, that was interesting. Bucky's tone throughout the week about it being a bloodbath and it being a battle.
An absolute war, per his words, as he told us.
An absolute war.
Yeah, on camera and then behind camera, he's like, it's gonna be an absolute war on Saturday. Get ready to roll. Yeah.
Grant, do you think it was an absolute war of a game?
I think it was chippy. It was tough. I mean, there wasn't like any fights or anything break out. I mean, UNCG is extremely tough defensively. They've been one of the best defensive teams throughout the non-conference. So there was some kind of things on the court. We do know what happened off the court with UNCG assistant Randy Phillips, getting a 1-game suspension this week for what he did towards a Samford fan. But yeah, it was a little bit kind of a battle going there for Samford against UNCG.
Was the 1-game suspension enough?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I've seen. I mean, what's it really going to
I saw
matter
someone
when
on Twitter
assistant?
say, like,
Yeah.
we don't have to get controversial about that on
No. Yeah.
on the State of the Bulldogs podcast, but
Yeah. We don't need to show what he did either, right? We don't need to do like. Yeah. We don't need
we're
to do
definitely
anything.
not going to show what he did. If you're curious, there's something called YouTube. You can go look it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Randy Phillip, Good
Or
Birmingham
X.
Sports Twitter. Yeah. X. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Look, UNCG. I keep telling the guys, but I'll tell everyone here, like, I've been saying UNCG is the dark horse of the SoCon. I'm sure
Yeah.
Sam and Mike are going to be like, if you listen to the podcast when you weren't on, then you would know that we've been saying that too. But respectfully, I was saying it before them.
Yep.
And
You were early.
It's just, this was a statement game for the Bulldogs in the conference.
Yeah.
UNCG coming off that buzzer beater the week before, that was the game before us, right?
Yeah, game before at Chattanooga, buzzer beater to beat them on national TV.
Which was sweet, and that got like a lot of SoCon hype in the nation, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it made ESPN the next day. It might have.
That's a good question. Yeah.
And Samford coming in. We won by 7, but it seemed like we had a hold of the game the entire time.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's probably, I'm going to give credit to Bucky and his coaching, just prepping the guys, telling them, look, it's going to be a battle, and they were prepared and they came up and showed out. So excited about being 4-0. Grant, was there anything else about this game that stuck out to you? Trey Fort, obviously just like a laser from beyond the arc.
He's doing exactly what we thought he would be coming to the year. It didn't really show. Well, it shows up a little bit on the stat sheet. Allenspach is real with the contributions of Riley and Lucas in that first half. They came on, provided a spark. Riley, especially after the game he had against VMI, I think he had maybe 2 points or something. He was kind of not really moving too slow, or his mind was moving too fast. He couldn't really make quick decisions on what to do. And you could tell on Saturday that he was definitely making those quick decisions and definitely played a lot better, especially when you had 13 points in 15 minutes. And then Lucas, I want to say 27 minutes. That's got to be one of his highest minutes he's played in a game. He had 7 points, 5 boards. He was kind of the first one to get in there and kind of bring a spark kind of off the bench. Even asked Bucky about a post game. He's like, yeah, I told Lucas this would be the game for you. Go in, you know exactly what you need to do, and this isn't going to be a finesse game. This is going to be you need to get in and get dirty. And if you watch the video Samford put out of Bucky talking in the locker room before the game, the hype video they put out after, he said something to the effect. Let me pull up his quotes. I don't miss it, but what do you say? Yeah, he said it ain't going to be about just making some shots. This is about to get nasty. It's about to get bloody. The baddest, toughest, most physical, tenacious, relentless team 40 minutes plus overtime will be standing. And it was extremely tough. Guys go back and forth, and the kind of that soldier battle kind of mindset was definitely permeated throughout the whole game.
Yeah. Has Lucas topped 27 minutes in any other game this season?
That's a great question. Maybe I want to say Michigan State game. He played a good bit. Let's see. I can pull it up. 27. Yeah, he played 27 minutes against Austin Peay. He's got a couple 28-minute games. Yeah, this was his second time playing 20, or his fourth time playing 27 more minutes. Yeah, that's definitely one of his highest. Yeah, five boards, 7 points, especially a lot in that first half.
Yeah, I'd say shot 37% from the three. UNCG, shot 39%. There's not really much that sticks out. I guess you look at rebounds, you look at steals, you look at free throw percent, field goal percentage. It's just all there. And seems par of the course for us. So, it's just nice to be 4-0 and have Furman lose.
Yeah.
That's really all I had to say.
We could have spent 30 seconds, just be like, hey, it's nice to not lose 2 games, going into conference play, especially beating UNCG when some teams didn't.
I like the warm mentality from Bucky, and I'm sure, again, I said that, but it motivates the guys clearly.
Yeah, he's definitely been using that a lot the last year or two for sure.
But it didn't need to be 40 minutes in overtime, obviously.
No, it didn't. No.
So, you want to talk about the national ranks through 17 games?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
All right. So enough about UNCG. So where are we nationally in D1 basketball? Points per game, we're 5th. I was not prepared for this, but I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
I think it's good to compare who's up there with us in the top 5 in points per game.
Yeah, first is Alabama at 91.1, Iowa 89.6, Kentucky 89.2, Gonzaga 87.8, and then Samford 87.5. And funny enough, Cornell is 6th behind Samford, who we obviously played early in the year. Then it's other big P4 teams throughout the top 10. Illinois, Auburn, Florida, and Iowa State round out the top 10. So, some pretty good company for Samford and kind of a familiar spot.
Here's what I'll say about Cornell. I really wanted that win. That's a quad 2 win.
Yeah.
So we're, 0-1 in quad 2, 0-2.
Yeah, and to lose the way we did, right, on that kind of buzzer beater when we thought we had it, then they hit that shot to win the game. But 0-1 and quad 2 wins, for quad 2 games.
Right next to Gonzaga, which is clearly, obviously, the direction. That's where we want to be, right?
Yeah,
right there with Gonzaga and anything. Obviously, everyone out there is going to make the argument, oh, well, you guys don't play, ACC opponents or,
Well, yeah, obviously, but yeah.
It's okay, right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say that before anybody makes that argument, right?
Yeah.
So average 3-point field goal made 4th in the country. Average field goals made per game 12th in the country. 3-point percentage 34th. I can't remember where we finished last year, Grant, but we were definitely higher than that last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then field goal percentage 52nd. Steals per game 3rd. That sticks out a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's Bucky ball.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
a nightmare in March for any team. And then assists per game 13th. That's pretty good. Where there's obviously other categories we could highlight, but these are the ones that really stick out about how this team's built and how we play. And to be up there with the big dogs is really cool to see through 17 games. So,
especially in that kind of points per game. If you go through last week before other teams kind of took off, it was kind of I want to say Bama was 1, Samford was 2, and Auburn was 3rd or 4th at one point. There's the group of us. Just cool seeing the state of Alabama kind of turn into basketball. And obviously we know what Auburn is, number 1 team in the country. Bama's maybe got the highest ceiling they play in a few weeks, but it's just cool to see Samford up there with the likes of those teams that obviously Bama went to the Final Four last year. Kentucky, we know all about Kentucky and Gonzaga. So
I saw Auburn and Alabama obviously ranked top in the country, and then Samford 5th in points per game, and then UAB somewhere up there, I think, for rebounds or something. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, UAB was up there too in scoring offense as well before they kind of had a slow point last few weeks before starting conference play. But yeah,
it's Alabama looks more like a basketball state than North Carolina this year, right?
Yeah.
It hurts to say that, but we'll see. So what about What about the numbers for the guys? I think Grant, you sent something about Rylan in the chat, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let me find that real quick. But yeah, Rylan right now. Oh yeah, that's right. In fact, I was just thinking about it. Per Evan Maya, who does, which we talked about, some good analytics and stuff, especially for throughout all college basketball. He's been a couple. Rylan has been on a couple of his lists. If you go to yesterday, he tweeted out a graphic of the top offensive players in the country per his rating, and obviously Rylan was up there, kind of in like the top 15, top 20 in the country, with players from like Janai from Auburn, Villanova, Purdue, and Texas Tech. He's one of the most valuable players in the country, and tops in the SoCon for sure. And then you go today, Evan put out another stat, which Rylan was also in the top 30 or so for guys, that he has this playmaking score, he calls it, and like the most skilled playmakers 1 to 25, and he's got Rylan 19th in the country, and when it comes to skill making and players, and it's per Evan, is calculated from predicted assist rate and turnover percentage, which you may know that Rylan has been tops in the country last couple of years when it comes to assist to turnover ratio, especially finishing like 11th last year, and he's closer to like the teens this year. So it's cool seeing one of our guys, especially Rylan, who's in his 6th year, super senior. It's cool seeing one of our guys kind of involved with all the big boys, that for sure.
Yeah, so he's 17th in assists, and he's 30th in assist turnover ratio, and he's 22nd in assists per game.
Yep.
And then Jaden Brownell,
there you go,
is 34th in field goal percentage, and then Trey Fort, 40, tied for 41 at 3-pointers per game.
Yeah, and you go to Trey shooting 42%.
25th. Sorry, he's 25th in total 3-pointers as well.
Okay, yeah, 23 pointers. He's had, I think I wrote in my story 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's got. Trey has 11 straight games scoring in double figures at 21 against UNCG. Made just 2 threes, but you go to the Citadel game, 5 of 10 from 3. Alabama A&M before then, 7 of 11. South Carolina State a month ago, 8 of 10. So yeah, he's definitely has become the kind of player filling that Jaden Campbell kind of role, and especially when Samford's needed buckets, he's definitely been the guy to go to, especially when it comes to finding his 3-point shot.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just cool to see, like I said, see our guys up there with some of the greats in the country, basically. So yeah, and one more thing I wanted to play from Bucky, going back to UNCG real quick. Someone asked him in the presser what he thought about his team, what they need to improve on, and basically his main message was just for them to not get complacent, kind of focus on what they still need to be doing, the task at hand. So here's what he had to say.
Yeah, just can't get complacent anyway. Like with the version of ourselves right now can't win the league, can't win the tournament. Like no one's version of themselves right now can't win the league or the tournament. It's just who can keep getting better and improving. We've got a lot better as the season's gone, but we got to go to the next step, right? And we're gonna get tested here. We play 3 or 4 at home. We're gonna get tested on the road, and we're gonna see adversity. Like we're gonna be down in games. We may or may not win every game. The teams that can overcome that and sustain and not get too high or low. I'm mad that I had a bad game. I'm mad that I didn't play as much. I'm mad that the ref called a foul. Whatever. Like I'm mad we lost. Like the guys that have enough character, which I think our team has, can sustain and bounce back and be ready for the next game and get over themselves and their emotions and play for the program and the team. And when you do that, you're going to keep getting better and you got a chance to be really successful.
So I'm watching that and I'm thinking, Grant, you know how I always talk about like team psychology on the podcast, it feels like, or at least I try to. If no one's ever thought that, I try to. Because I think it matters, right? When you're a good team and you went to the tournament last year and you're obviously wanting to win and like go to the tournament this year, it takes a lot to get there, and you have guys that did it last year and they're back, and so you can sometimes like, you get the Super Bowl hangover, right? Mm-hmm. But you can get it on multiple levels. I think Bucky just does a really good job of like keeping that balance, because you have to keep like the goal in sight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also need to keep the team with enough edge and enough chip on its shoulder to like feel like they're not good enough to get
Mm-hmm.
there, or at least like know that like it's going to be difficult, right?
Yeah.
And that you have to play your best. And then it's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not guaranteed it, right? You're not guaranteed anything, right? So as someone who sits back and watches, it's always like, okay, this happens in football, right? Like we talked about with our football team. It's like we had the hangover. Like every year we're successful, like we just have the Super Bowl hangover, right?
Yeah.
But with Bucky and the basketball team, it feels different. For some reason, it's just like, I mean, that's what makes it, a good coach, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To get the best out of your guys when you need to continue to keep getting better. Right? Yeah. 4-0 is cool, but why can't we be 17-0? Right? Why can't we get back to the tournament? Just basically keeping that same mindset. And it goes back to when someone DM'd us or asked us on social about like why he thought that Bucky was harder on this team than last year, and we basically just boiled it back down to he knows what it takes to get back to the tournament, and when his team needs to get there, he knows different ways to motivate them, like you said, and make sure to kind of not keep them complacent, kind of get going to where they need to go. So yeah, he's going to be on them no matter what, whether they win all their conference games or whether they drop 3 of 5 or whatever. He's going to make sure that they go and bring out the best of them, especially when you got so many new guys who weren't here last year who want to kind of go experience what Samford did last year.
Yeah. It's you almost have to forget about your success and forget about your losses as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you said, bad call, bad play, bad game for individual player performance, whatever it is, like forget about it. Right?
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
That being said, I still have not forgotten about the bad call against Kansas last year. And
yeah, we got church to prove it. Yeah.
Yeah. It haunts me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Mercer.
Yeah, we don't need to bring up any more of that Kansas stuff. So Samford's going to go on the road at Mercer. The line's already out for that one. Samford's minus 5.5 point favorite going to Macon Wednesday night at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Just a little bit of breakdown of their guys. They're led by head coach Ryan Ritter. He's in his first year. He came over from UT Martin, so he's trying to get his stamp on the program. Mercer is 9-8 overall. They lost to ETSU at home, and then they ended up losing to Western Carolina for Western's first conference win and first for Coach Kraft over there. For Mercer, they've got the lowest offensive rating on KenPom in the SoCon when you take out those bottom 3 teams of VMI, Citadel, and Western, who they ended up losing to. But still, on the defensive team, they've got the third best defensive rating throughout the first 4 games of the conference slate. Samford is first in the conference, funny enough, in defensive efficiency per KenPom going to this one. And then you go to their key players. They're led by Ahmad Robinson, their leading scorer. They've got a ton of transfers, obviously, with a new coach. Robinson's transferred over from New Hampshire, 5'10". He's actually a pretty good rebounder for a smaller guy. He's averaging 16 points a game, 5 assists, and also along with 5 rebounds a game. So it's kind of interesting. I've never seen a 5'10" guard average those kind of rebounds per game. Then you go to their second leading scorer, Tyler Johnson. He's a transfer from USC Aiken. He scored 26 against Chat a week or so ago. He's averaging 16 points per game, shooting 39% from 3. And then you go to actually one of their few returners, Alex Holt. He plays the 5, 6'8", 220. He's averaging 12 and 7. So those are just some of the guys when it comes down to Mercer. Mercer, not that big of a team. Samford should have enough size. Actually have more size than Mercer. Their tallest guy that they play, Mercer does, is Holt at 6'8", and then they got some 6'7" guys. So Samford should have kind of a size advantage down low. Could be a good game for Riley to kind of shine. Is there anything, Jeb, you kind of looking to for this one before we move on to ETSU?
I mean, thing I like to look to is like rebounds per game. They're 67th in the country.
Yeah.
Points per game tied for 42nd. Assists per game 124th. Points allowed 76, which I guess leaves them unranked. Nothing to write home about there at all. So, yeah, you pretty much covered it. Obviously look out for Ahmad Robinson and Alex Holt to be on the boards on the glass.
Yeah.
ETSU.
Yeah, kind of a weird start for Mercer before we move on. They played Chad on New Year's Day, beat them in overtime, then beat VMI, then they lost, like we said, ETSU, and then losing to Western, who's obviously one of the worst teams. 326, Ken Palm, one of the lowest in the SoCon. So yeah, they'll be definitely kind of revved up to go for this one, having the defending champs coming into their place.
They beat Chattanooga.
Yeah, they did in overtime. Yeah, 99-94. So
yeah.
So they have it in them. So it's just a matter of, getting on the road, getting the win. Before we move on to the big one, Saturday at home against ETSU, the team that we played in the SoCon championship game last year. When ETSU was the 7 seed, they kind of rolled in, and we all know what happened. Samford ended up winning that one. That game is going to be on national TV. It's a 5 o'clock Central start on CBS Sports Network. So that's cool that Samford's kind of getting the shine, getting on CBS Sports Network before I think their next game on national TV is at Furman on the 29th at the end of the month. But ETSU is 10-7, 3-1 so far into SoCon play. Their one loss is Wofford at home. They've beaten VMI Mercer on the road by 2, and then the Citadel is their other third win. So they're 3-1. They've also got a big week this week. They're at Furman Wednesday and then at Samford. So good luck to ETSU coming in. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the toughest weeks I've seen, other than a Western. When they started the year, they started with Furman and Samford home, when we thought, the two kind of the top teams, which we thought coming in before SoCon play started. ETSU, they're second ranked in defensive efficiency through 4 games in the conference. Like we said, the rematch of last year's SoCon title game. And you remember these guys, their key players, Kamari Peterson, averaging 18 points per game. He's shooting 41% from 3. We also remember Jaden Seymour. He's averaging 16 and 7. And then another one of their guys, kind of their main transfer they brought in, John Buggs III from North Texas, a guard, shooting 43% from 3, and then he's averaging 12 points a game. So I expect this to kind of be another UNCG type game, kind of a grounded out. You'll bring that kind of battle mentality towards this kind of opponent, especially with the physical 3 games that we played against them last year. So
yeah, this team can shoot. This team, honestly, like, I could see this team getting hot during SoCon play.
Yeah.
And finishing strong. And obviously they've got the powder in the keg. But they're honestly one of the weaker. Like, I think Mercer's a stronger opponent in some ways, Grant. That's. We'll see how. We just started SoCon play. We're not even like.
Yeah, only 4 games. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah, we're only a few games in, so we don't really know. But you got a couple of guys shooting almost 42%, 43%. Obviously, played them in the SoCon championship game last year.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming to us off Furman, depending on how that goes. They might beat Furman. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
We're obviously beating up too much on Furman. We might make an appearance on the Furman boards again.
Yeah. Our favorite spot, yeah.
But yeah. 149th in assists per game. They're 192nd in points per game. 114th in rebounds per game.
Okay.
In the country.
Yeah, it's just a
Not
matter.
that like that doesn't it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm saying off like the where they are nationally, but it's something, right? Makes Mercer look a little bit stronger,
Yeah.
at least statistically, and uh, looking at their schedule. Um, they played Davidson pretty well,
Yeah.
the former SoCon school. Um,
Yep.
They whooped up on Elon. Played Wichita State pretty close too,
Oh, yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, 96-87, yeah.
No one really talked about that.
Mm-mm.
Um, they beat Charlotte. Charlotte did something pretty good recently here this weekend.
They beat
They
Murray.
beat Murray State
Yeah.
in overtime or something. I don't know.
Yeah, double overtime. When then they've had
Yeah.
a tough start to the conference play, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think again, like East Tennessee State, like ETSU is not going to be a good. Let's not look ahead. Obviously, just take it one game at a time, and you got to win this one. Third in the conference. I think you already said that, Grant, but
yeah,
that's it. I mean, I don't have much else to say. Like, I just want to watch the game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially, and then just before we get to, we'll talk about this next week, obviously, but Samford schedule, we kind of mentioned this in the preseason preview. If you get by Mercer, then you play ETSU, and that kind of sets up your kind of stretch against at the first set of teams in which we expect to be the top half of the conference, right? So you got a Mercer Wednesday, ETSU on Saturday, and then you go to Chat, and then you host Wofford, and then you go to Furman on a Wednesday. So that's like the 4-game stretch we talked about before you have that 4-game stretch again, the second to fourth weeks in February. So yeah, this is kind of the first stretch. Okay, cool. We played Citadel, we played VMI, we played Western, and we beat them pretty handily, beat UNCG by 7, although the game didn't feel as close. We still covered the 6.5. But you go throughout the rest of the schedule with those kind of games, it's kind of getting to the fun part of the SoCon slate, right? Like, it's fun seeing us win games, but now we get to kind of the big boys and kind of what we expected in the preseason, especially if you get by Mercer to make it 5-0 for ETSU and Chat, obviously. So yeah, the ETSU game will set up a pretty fun couple weeks.
It'll be ETSU, Chattanooga, Wofford, Furman, and it's like that's the fun stretch. That's the hard stretch. Yeah. That's the let's see what you're made of stretch in the SoCon.
Yeah.
For the Bulldogs, and that's at the end of the month, right? So we have ETSU, and then they're in 4 days, and then we'll have Chattanooga, and then Furman before the end of the month, and then and then Citadel on February 1st. So
yeah,
and then you do it all over again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So let's see, UNCG last game of the season.
Yep.
Well, it'll be an interesting stretch. You said the Furman game is going to be national television?
Pretty sure that's going to be the 5:00 CBS game, kind of what we saw the the Western game last year where we went up to Western. That game was the 5:00 CBS Sports Network in the middle of the week. So
good deal.
Yep, and then Furman will play Mercer and VMI before they play ETSU and Chat this week. So yeah, it'll be another kind of a grinded out. Ken Palm expects a closer game, 82-76 is what they project the score to be. So it's just a matter of limiting those guys, and Trey Fort kind of being Trey Fort, Ryland being Ryland Jones, and see which one of your bigs kind of steps up, whether it's Jaden, and you kind of see whether this is a game for Riley or not after, which should be a game for him against Mercer. Then obviously Bucky will switch the offensive defense, find the right matchups, and make sure. So yeah, it's a fun atmosphere. The students will be officially back. They're back in school this week, so it should be a big crowd, and they're having like a neon night, so you can get like neon shirts before the game and stuff like that. So
Grant, I meant to
So
ask.
everybody-
I saw someone mention something about the atmosphere at the UNCG game this weekend.
Mhm.
How would you compare that to some of the other games this season?
It was definitely the best to start the slate at least. And it's just so weird because you start the first few games with kids in school. You play obviously 2 games, and you got Thanksgiving and Christmas right there. So it's kind of hard to compare. You kind of forget what it's like until you actually, oh wait, there's actually people here, and actually a lot more people and students come in. So yeah, it was a fun atmosphere. It was cool being loud. I was on the court for most of it, so that just adds like another element to like shooting pictures and video and stuff like that. So yeah, so it was kind of a pretty loud crowd.
Yeah, hopefully we can get pack the Pete, right?
Yeah.
With the students back. So
Yeah.
Need to get some of those Red Sea days going again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, get Moses out there and get some work. Get the work on.
Or like a whiteout, some
Yeah.
Red Sea and whiteout stuff, and
exactly.
really motivate the. Yeah, I'll say one thing. If you're a student and you're listening to this, go to the basketball game.
Yeah. What we doing?
I was there. I was a student during the Scott Padgett days.
Yeah, they don't know how good they have it now. Yeah.
Yeah, you have no idea how good you have it. And that's no slight on Scott Padgett. I was excited about him, but it's really like the golden age of basketball at Samford.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, show up to the games. You're gonna miss it when you graduate, and you're in your 30s. And yeah, I'll just say that right now.
There you go.
So go enjoy it while you're a student. Pack the Pete. Really be a part of something like a culture change in terms of sports at Samford, and basketball is the way we can do that. So
yeah.
All right. So Grant, anything else about ETSU or Mercer?
No, I think we covered it's gonna be another big week, Saturday game, and then like you said, get out and it'll be fun being there, kind of see what the atmosphere is like with students coming back. So yeah,
good deal. All right, so portal updates. What do you have?
The football portal. The portal keeps going, keeps spinning. It doesn't stop, even though there are windows for you to get in and get out. But it keeps going. Samford added 4 more guys this past week. I'll run through them real quick. 3 of them have no stats as from their prior schools, but you got one guy, Andrew Jordan from Golden West College. It's a JUCO in Concord, North Carolina. 6'3", 235, 38 total tackles last year, 6.5 sacks, and 12 tackles for loss. So another addition to that D line for new defensive coordinator Brandon Cooper, who's officially announced him getting elevated from just linebackers coach to taking the big job with Adam Braithwaite going over to Cincinnati. So that was rumored, and Samford officially announced that today. A couple other guys, a kicker, Jack Tannehill. Hey, a kicker, let's go from Southern Miss. Anybody to add to that kicker room, I think they're still going to look to add more bodies to that room. Actually, I missed a guy. Now that I think of the special teams guy, 5 additions. They added a punter transferring over from Georgia. So he officially announced that he's going to stay Bulldog. So I forgot to add him to the agenda. Just thought of him when we were going over special teams. No, it is not. It is not Parker Jones or whatever his name was. The poor kid.
Noah Jones.
But Noah Jones. Sorry, I was thinking of the kid that ran into the official at the Georgia Notre Dame game. Yeah, Noah Jones. Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about Charlie Gilliam.
Yeah.
Mostly because he's coming from Wake. But
yeah, there you go. Yeah, you and Coach Dickert are tight down there, right?
Well, yeah, we're pretty tight. I got invited to a staff meeting.
Yeah.
True story, by the way.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that is a true story. It's pretty wild. A couple other guys, Donovan Grayson, a D lineman from West Virginia. He was a freshman. He's coming over as a redshirt freshman, 6'3", 240-pound D lineman. And then one other guy, a corner from North Dakota State, Tremaine Turner, 5'9", 175. He'll have 4 years of eligibility. So, yeah, Samford, again, we thought they would be adding to the D-line, secondary, and wide receiver room. They added a couple wide receivers throughout of course, a portal, but again, last week adding some more help on the defensive side of the ball. So
I'm just waiting for someone who can come in and like be the next James Bradbury or Jaquiski Tart or Michael Pierce. We need another era of good NFL prospects.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need some. There are some guys we've kind of added I kind of like, which we talked about in past episodes. But yeah, we'll see who and what Samford continues to add through the portal, and obviously we got the spring portal window that'll open up, and guys leaving Samford are still deciding where to go and whatnot with their new defensive coordinator. Now they have officially named Brandon Cooper. So yeah, that's fun getting that over with and getting to move on to adding another member to the staff and then going from there. So over to state of the SoCon, going back to the basketball. We've obviously talked about it already. Going to last week's games due to the winter weather over the past couple of days, games moving. And there was a game that was moved to Monday, January 13th, yesterday, where good old Wofford went down to Furman at Travelers Rest, Jeb's favorite spot. And Wofford got the big win over Furman at Furman, 81-62. So big dub there for the Terriers.
Grant, what is this T-shirt?
Oh yeah, it's
so Furman created the T-shirts.
Yeah, they did for the rivalry to give out to students. Yeah.
What did the T-shirt have on it?
For our YouTube audience,
show a picture.
Yeah, YouTube audience, I'll pull the picture, but it is it's awesome. Yeah, so in fact, it's hard to describe. You kind of just have to see it for yourself at this point, right? Yeah.
Hooford
with the terrier in a hot dog costume. Hooford ? Yeah, sick. And they gave those shirts out to the students, and sure enough, Wofford, after winning, they post their usual road trip where they go to a gas station or whatever some sort and get a snack for the road, and they showed up to the whatever gas station wearing those shirts that they gave out to the students. So somehow they got some Hooford shirts on there. That's a great question. Somehow they got some Hooford ? Shirts on their hands.
If someone on Twitter could tweet at Samford Scoop and tell us how you got those shirts, that'd be fantastic.
Yes, and I would want to wear one too.
Can we get some of those shirts?
Yeah.
And all right, so
Hooford.
This is fun. All right, so there's a lot that can come out of that. That I'm not going to talk about because we'll save it for later.
Yeah, we can save for a couple weeks.
So Wofford goes to Furman, just absolutely slaps them.
Yeah,
and they make those shirts. I mean, this is beautiful.
Yeah,
this is wonderful. Is Furman all that they're cracked up to be? We've been talking about this on the podcast all year.
We've been waiting for it. We've been waiting for the downfall.
We've been catching. I mean, they are warranted. Like, fine, people can take our hot takes and are not so hot takes anymore.
Post them on their
and post them on their forums and all that. And we're obviously biased. We talk about how biased we are. Like, it's a Samford podcast. Like, we're supposed to be that.
Yeah, exactly. Samford with 4 alums. I did send y'all the screenshot of a Samford message board with the thread title is just sunrise, and then the first post is I love the smell of a Furman loss at sunrise. That's incredible.
Let's read some of the Furman.
Oh yes,
boards.
Yeah, let's do that. We should have done this at the start.
Up. We should have talked about this already. Oh no.
I can pull it up as well.
Yeah, pull it up. Oh, here it is. Okay. Monday, January 13th, 2025 at 8:40 p.m. This could be it for this group. no upside.
No upside. That's stuff we need to put down on a t-shirt. Anyway, continue.
8:38 p.m.
Yeah.
Recurrent theme: not enough offensive firepower, not
Nope.
enough pure shooters.
Nope. Through 4 games, they are last in the conference in 3-point percentage.
So the Furman fans are tilting officially.
It's only 2 losses. It's only.
Yeah.
It's not like they're 1-5 or 6 or whatever.
Right.
Yet, anyway.
Look, as much as we talk about this, like, I still think Furman's a good team.
Yes.
They're a good team. They're a top 3 team in the power rankings, in my opinion, in the conference.
Yeah.
They've had they slipped up against Wofford, but Wofford might actually be a good team too, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Like, Wofford's showing up again, like they always do. Their record might not show it, but they're good, and so yeah, that just makes the SoCon more interesting, right?
Yeah.
It just makes it more exciting. So we're obviously excited to play Wofford. We're excited to play Furman. It's by no means the end for Furman, right?
No.
They're going to be fine. And they're we'll see what happens come tournament season.
Yeah, exactly. It's
so
way too early to be making any big overall judgments on teams.
So Furman fans, we poke at you, but we know we'll give you credit. You're still a good team.
Yeah.
You got to figure some things out, but
yeah, just wait. Just wait till the 29th. Yep, and then we'll react to that and go from there.
Yep.
Yeah,
so any other scores, Grant?
Yeah, we've kind of mentioned it, but UNCG going to Chattanooga last Thursday at the buzzer beater. They got a 78-75 win. Donovan Atwell, 28 points, obviously hit the buzzer beater to take the lead, to win the game. That was kind of the other kind of major score that we saw of those two. ETSU beat Citadel by 18, and we beat UNCG. Chattanooga handled VMI. Huff had 31 points. Western Carolina got into the win column in the SoCon. They're 1-3 now, beating Mercer 85-82. So those were kind of the games throughout last week. Games for this week coming up. Again, we've mentioned Wofford is at Chattanooga on Wednesday night. We're at Mercer Wednesday. ETSU is at Furman. That's another big one. Citadel is at UNCG. And then you go over to the Saturday slate. The biggest one outside of ours on CBS Sports Network is Chattanooga at Furman. So those a big week for Furman and Chattanooga. Then UNCG goes on the road to Western. And then VMI and Citadel, they play each other. Both 0-4 right now to this point. Maybe probably 0-5 where they get to Saturday before they play their first of two. First game is at Citadel. So yeah, those are kind of the games for this week. Anything else kind of stand out to you?
No, I mean, it'll be fun to watch the Furman Chattanooga game. ETSU Furman, obviously. Wofford Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. And that's probably about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody's overall healthy for the most part too. So those games should be really good.
Yep. So KenPom?
Yeah, let's do it. The latest KenPom and net ranking updates, if you want to run through the KenPom rankings real quick.
Sure. So basketball KenPom rankings for the SoCon, Samford at the top, 102. Where were we last week?
That's a great question. I'm sure we were kind of hovering around the same.
Okay, we didn't.
Same 100.
Yeah, we didn't prep with that. So
yeah.
But Wofford, actually Wofford's up at 124.
Okay.
UNCG at 125. Furman at 138. They actually got. I mean, hey, look, the at least in terms of power rankings for the SoCon right now, those 4 schools, honestly, pretty high for the SoCon on the KenPom. And UTC at 173, Mercer 234, Western Carolina 326, VMI 333, and then Citadel 352. So, yeah, Wofford moving. I don't know where they were last week.
Yeah, they were not there. Yeah,
they were not there. So they're at 124. Furman moved down to 138. Interesting shakeup through 17 in the SoCon. So
yeah. Ken Palm has the SoCon is the 15th best conference in the country, right behind the WAC and Ivy League right now. So that's kind of where they kind of sit those. Yeah, Chattanooga is first in offensive efficiency, easy for me to say, through 4 games, and then Samford is actually first in defensive efficiency through 4 games. We'll see if that continues moving forward. So, and Samford's also cut down on the turnovers as well, so that's obviously big.
And let's look at the net ranking. The NCAA D1 men's basketball net rankings. Samford moved up from 94 to 92. UNCG up to 104 from 105. Furman down to 113 from 90. That's all I made note of.
Yeah, those are kind of the top.
I'm on the fly going to look at Wofford.
Let's see.
Yeah, Wofford's up to 134 from 162.
Yeah. Yeah, dang. Wofford's played 7 quad 2 games, or 3 and 4.
Wow. Yeah,
we've only played one
134 from 162. And then let's see. UNCG, yeah, we already got them. That's it. That's fine.
Yeah, those are the main ones we need to focus on. Yep.
Is it realistic for us? I mean, all things like stay the same. Like you keep winning games, keep playing well. Like, could we break 60?
That's a good question. That might be high, but I can't remember what we finished or how high we got last year is the real question.
Is there a historical Ken Palm?
Ken Palm would have it, but I don't know.
Not public?
Yeah. The net ranking site just kind of had... I'm sure I could ask somebody in the Samford SID, Brad, over there. Maybe he could get that to us and go back in the archive. So
we were 81.
Okay. Yep.
81 last year to finish.
Yep, 81. Yeah, so 81 and Kim Palm. Yeah.
Realistic to break that, I think. Are we going to find ourselves up there in the top 60? I'm not sure, but something fun to look at every week. Doesn't necessarily, I mean, it means something, but it's not end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Grant, on that?
No, I think we kind of covered it. We can get to state of the Bulldogs real quick. The women started their SoCon play. They lost a close one at Mercer by 3. Emily Bowman is hurt and didn't play. I need to check on what her status is moving forward. I think that was one of the first games, that she missed. So we'll see. This week they're at Chattanooga and then at ETSU on Saturday. So they got their own Thursday, Saturday slate going this week.
Good deal.
So, yeah. That's kind of everything. Anything else you can think of we missed?
Did you talk about Brandon Cooper?
I mentioned it briefly. We didn't actually discuss it much. But
what do you remember? We kind of talked about. I don't remember what episode it was. We talked about who's going to be the new DC.
Yeah.
How's that going to work out? I think we talked about hiring internal.
Yeah. His third DC in 3 years. Chris Boone went to Troy. Braithwaite went to Cincy, be DB's coach, and now Cooper getting the job. So it'll be interesting to see whether we run a lot from last year or whether it's a whole new system. It's just a matter of kind of figuring that out once we get into spring ball. But
yeah.
So yeah, I think if there's anything we learned is that we don't need Sam, right? We can kind of get this on our own.
Can we? I don't know. That'll be up to him. That'll be up to everyone else. Hey, if you guys make us the most listened podcast, things might change. Or most listened episode.
Yeah, that's a good point. The numbers, the men and women lie, but the numbers don't. So, you just got to focus on the numbers, right, and make sure that we got everything going forward. So, subscribe to the show on YouTube again. Subscribe, review, leave a comment, DM us, ask us questions. We'll answer those on the show, social, whatnot. Go to the website, stateofthebulldogs.com. We've got a couple things up, the UNCG recap, and then with the VMI win last week, Bucky got his 90th career win at Samford, moving him to second all-time in school history. So,
and go if check. You're curious, all of the transfer tracking.
Portal tracker. Yeah,
portal tracking is up there too, so you can search that.
Yep. That's about it. I think we got it.
All right,
everybody. Enjoy the week. We've got a big week coming up. Obviously, 2 games, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully, we're 6-0 when we're talking next week. So,
yep.
Jeb, good to be with you. Sorry, Mike and Sam will do this again next week. Yeah. Let's see if we can get the quad box back for next week, right?
Maybe. Yeah, and maybe we just keep doing the dual box.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Special. Maybe we'll spin off, do our own podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Our own. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll think about that. Yeah, we'll brainstorm that later. So, all right, everybody have a good week, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Samford, about to get that ring, man. Hey, love y'all. We love y'all.